The views and opinions expressed on Unlock Your Wealth Radio are those of the host, guests, and callers only and are not necessarily the views of Unlock Your Wealth Radio, Heather Wagenhalls, or Success Publishing International.
More willpower than a barefoot woman at a shoe sale. Able to stretch a single paycheck for an entire month. Makes money concepts easier than third grade math. Introducing your purveyor of prosperity, Heather Wagenhall.
Work all day, stress all night. Take your mind off your money and focus on your life. Money don't matter or the stuff it bought. It's the way you think, not what you've got, yeah.
Unlock Your Wealth Radio starts now. Get your money mind right.
Get your money mind right here.
Yes, ma'am.
Right here. Heather Wagenhalls here, your purveyor of prosperity. And I am flanked, as always, by the fabulous, ever-popular maestro of moolah, Michael Terry.
Hey, folks.
And we are going to help you get your money mind right on today's episode with the following great features. So, Miguel, key, please.
The key is take emotion out of the picture. Number 8.
Number 8.
Number 8.
Now serving number 8. Yes. So this is an incredible follow-up to our Breaking the Budget key. This is what makes breaking the budget work long-term, because we're going to learn how to become what? A gracious recipient.
Yeah.
It's pretty fabulous.
Gracious. I can't say that 3 times.
Gracious recipient.
Gracious recipient.
There you go. We also have an incredible moolah word of the day, and we have a female guest today. Jeanette Bajalia is going to join us, and she's going to help us discuss or discover that health-wealth connection. Yes, and so we need to think of today's investor word as in the middle. That's your hint for that.
Uh-huh.
But first, you like free books.
I love free books.
I know you like free books. I'm reading a really great book right now. It's by Jordan B. Peterson. It's called The 12 Rules. It's got like some subtitle about something in chaos, but it's amazing. You would think that I was channeling this guy's research when I was working on the Keys to Riches.
Yeah, the Keys to Riches. You have 13, but
We got a 13. We got a baker's dozen. It's so awesome. We got a baker's dozen.
Is it a 12-step program, this thing?
Yeah, we got 13. But no, these are just 12 lessons of life. And it's a pretty fabulous book. And you know where I got it? I got it on Audible.
Audible.com.
And you know why that's so great? Because listeners of this radio show can also read this book, or my favorite, Atlas Shrugged of all time. I just finished reading it. And it was I drug it out this year a little bit. Didn't get to stay with it like I usually do with the same intensity and veracity.
You read it every year, right?
Every year. I read it twice a year because now I get all fired up for the Atlas Society Summer Summit and Freedom Fest. So I read it again in the summer.
Cool.
Because, it's such an amazing book. And when you read with your ears, you can read anywhere. And that's what's so cool about Audible. And I think that in addition to, feeding my voracious reading addiction, which happens to be one of our keys, our final key in the Keys to Riches.
13, yeah.
For Unlock Your Wealth radio listeners, a very special offer from Audible. You can get a free audiobook download. All you have to do is visit audibletrial.com/unlock your wealth. audibletrial.com/unlock your wealth. And you, too, can also download a free audiobook from 150,000 plus titles to choose from for your iPhone,
a lot of books.
Android, Kindle, or MP3 player. They got the gamut covered. I can't wait till I get the next badge because I'm almost up to 600 books. So
Really?
yeah,
Wow, nice.
and I slacked off last year because I wasn't buying new books, because I was rereading some old ones. There were some concepts that I was struggling with and that I wanted to revisit, and so I thought, how do I revisit this? What's the best way? Well, read it again. So that's what I did with a lot of books last year. So I didn't buy as many as I typically do. But let me just tell you, you get a free book. So you can join. It's a no obligation free trial, free book. Take it, enjoy it. It's my gift to you from our sponsor, Audible. Oh, can I have another ADD moment real quick?
Sure.
Okay. So I think I sent you a message telling you that you need to put this on your calendar, but everybody
buy the plane tickets.
Buy the plane tickets. Go to freedomfest.com. Make your reservations for Las Vegas. It's July 11th through the 14th. We are broadcasting live every day. I am going to be speaking. But anyway, we are going to be launching a new vibe.
Yeah, we're good.
We've got a new vibe going down for the Unlock Your Wealth family of shows and products and all kinds of stuff, because we've got Unlock Your Wealth Live, Unlock Your Wealth Update, Unlock Your Wealth Radio, Unlock Your Wealth TV. And we got a new Unlock Your Wealth coming up. Plus, we're going to help my dear friend, Jim Woods, and dear friend and guest here at Unlock Your Wealth Radio, Jim Woods. He's going to be launching his own podcast right from the Unlock Your Wealth Radio. But you, my friend, are going to be the mixing king.
Guru.
Your fingers are going to be so sore from pushing on the buttons and whipping up all the levers and everything. Yeah. So, but I wanted all you to get, because the rooms got goofed up last year because I waited too long. I thought I had made them and then I didn't. So take care of that right now. Visit freedomfest.com, make your room reservations, get your plane tickets, and I will see you there, because we're going to have a big, fun thing for folks to show up. So moving right along, this week's key. It's pretty powerful.
No seasonal exception.
So if you join me at our radio show fan page on Facebook, Mondays at 9 a.m. Pacific, you can join in the live broadcast. So I'll take your questions, and there we do each week's key live. So for those of you who are joining us for the first time, the Keys to Riches is my financial philosophy. It's a baker's dozen of financial concepts that teach you how to think like the rich and be in control of your own money. It also gives you specific techniques to create or fix your credit, eliminate debt, save and invest, all while transforming your current financial habits into healthy money management skills. We do this one key at a time, 1 week at a time. And speaking of credit, I'm in the process of converting all of my credit success program, and we're going to digitize it. And
nice.
The maestro of moolah is going to lay it all out for you, so you can take and get that part of the Keys to Riches financial philosophy going, which, guess what? It happens to be next week. Create credit. So, moolah word of the day. So I said in the middle was our hint.
Oh, that's right.
And I really meant that. So the word of the day is median. So it's one type of averaging. It is found by arranging the values in order and then selecting the one in the middle. So this is not an average. If we think about it, it's in the middle. If the total number of values in the sample is even, so there's not an odd one where you have a middle number, like if you have 7 to choose from or 5 and there's a middle guy.
Yeah.
If you have an even number, the median is the mean of the two middle numbers. So the median is a useful number in the cases where distribution has very large extreme values, which would otherwise skew the data. So let me give you a fabulous example, because you're going, why the heck do I even need to know that?
What is she talking about?
Median home price.
Oh, okay.
What's the other indicator that I said gave me the ability to accurately predict the market crash 4 years before it happened? Median income. And the relationship between median income and median home price, well, that's the number that tells you what's affordable or unaffordable. Mm-hmm. And the market popped. When it went kaflooey, that ratio was at 4.1. Would you like to know where we are now?
Yeah, I'd love to.
4.
Wow.
So, sellers, get your shit on the market. Get your properties on the market. If you're an investor, hunker down. Make sure you got your properties leased up. It's not, if you can unload, if you're a fix and flipper, do that. But you need to hurry up. Otherwise, you need to repair and rent. That's what you got to do. Rehab and rent. Because you might get caught where it might not be financially advisable if the market pops. So just my little prophecy. Kind of just thrown out there. So I'm excited. I'm excited we have a female guest because pretty soon we're going to have a full all-chick season. I'm excited.
Oh, we are. Cool.
Yes. So starting at next season for season 35, it's going to be like the 35 female fabulous. We got to come up with a really cool name for the season.
Yeah.
So.
All right.
But it's going to be great because, our bigger demographic is men, ironically, but I'm always speaking to women. But wouldn't it be great if we could hear from women, not just what men think about women, what women should be doing, but from a woman who has the female perspective and is in the financial trenches all the time. But today we have one. I am really excited because we have Jeanette Bajalia joining us. She is the president and principal advisor at Women's Worth in Winter Park, Florida. Her team share a passion for helping women navigate financial planning with a special focus on physical, as in the PHYS, and fiscal, FISC, well-being, or what they call the health wealth connection. She's written 3 books, Planning a Purposeful Life, Wise Up Women, and Retirement Done Right. So let's talk about why she's going to be on the show, because women spend a lot of time caring for others. Aren't we the greatest caregivers? But we aren't always taking care of ourselves. And a little preventative maintenance can go a long way to improving our health and our wealth. For me, the two are inextricably combined. And she says that a lack of wealth can lead to stress and anxiety, while poor health adds up to skyrocketing healthcare costs. So Jeanette, she works with clients to be proactive in taking care of both their well-being and their finances. And she is going to dive deep with us into this health wealth connection, as she's going to offer us tips to keep seniors mentally, emotionally, physically, and spiritually whole. Jeanette, welcome to Unlock Your Wealth Radio. We're thrilled to talk to you today.
I'm excited to be with you, Heather.
One of the things that most people don't think about as we live these compartmentalized lives is that our finances actually have a direct relationship to the level of health that we currently enjoy or don't. Wouldn't you agree?
I totally agree, which is why I wrote a book all about the health wealth connection, particularly for women. It has a huge implication.
So can you describe a little bit for us what the health wealth connection is?
Well, for me, the way I define it is the health wealth connection has to do with, you heard the saying, so many people spend their health to gain their wealth, and they have to spend their wealth to regain their health. So when you think about we work, and we're accumulating, and we're making ourselves sick in the process. And one of the biggest risks to your future financial security is the cost of health care. Not only long-term care costs, but routine medical costs. So that's where the health wealth connection is. You have to really have a mind, body, and spirit balance to make sure that you keep more of your money in your pocket to do more enjoyable things than spending it in the healthcare system.
So if you've written a book on this topic is pretty important to you. What made you choose to explore this women's health wealth connection?
Particularly, I was a caregiver for over 30 years of my life. I was a caregiver to my mother and a great aunt. My mother lived to 93. My aunt lived to 100. I funded 100% of their care because they didn't plan. My dad died unexpectedly. He left my mother with a mortgage and a $542 Social Security check. So I saw my mother's health deteriorating when she was trying to live on her Social Security. So I started looking at her as an individual and saying, now I'm going to assume full responsibility for her care, for her lifestyle, and give her a quality of life. And the same with my aunt, and they live very long years. So I know the impacts of longevity as it relates to how you nurture your mind, your body, and your spirit to get a quality life, an outcome. And so I became interested in it from a personal perspective, and then from a business perspective. I started working. I retired from my first career, and I started working as a retirement income planner. And then all of a sudden, I was looking at people who retire, the ones that have successful retirements, or the ones that stay healthy, the ones that don't have any purpose in retirement. Their health deteriorates and they spend all their money. So I just said, I have got to get on the bandwagon and educate people, particularly women, because of longevity. We have got to make sure we hold on to our health we hold on to our wealth by holding on to our health.
So, with this female-centric focus with your retirement planning and your books, what are just a few of the unique challenges women face in retirement today?
Well, one of them is most women, 80% of women die single and 80% of men die married. So when you start thinking about living through retirement, basically on a single Social Security check or only on your income, and you don't have the help of a second income, you really have to think through how to keep holding on to your money and how to do right for your money with fewer assets. So women in particular, we consume over 60% of the medical services in the nation. So it's essential that we as women understand that money is a means to an end, and women typically spend 19 years in caregiving roles, so they're out of the workforce. So our Social Security checks are lower anyway, because we have lost earnings from caregiving to our parents, to our children, to our spouses. Even women step out of the workforce to take care of girlfriends. And so those lost wages transcend to lower pensions, lower Social Security. So you need recovery strategies as a woman.
Yeah, we don't really think about that as often as we'd like. And, not many people know the rules when it comes to Social Security. Can you prepare effectively if you are married to make sure that, things are financially sound with your spouse? Because let's face it, us girls live longer. And so we have to be
That's the good news and the bad news.
Yes. So I guess the question becomes, how do we manage to have enough money to sustain us, and how can we maintain a healthful quality of life throughout our lives, especially in retirement? Because nowadays, with the extension of life at the rate that it is, that we're living better quality lives longer, so we're going to be wanting to be out doing things and have an active lifestyle as well. I mean, how do we make sure that those dollars are there?
Well, I can give you a few tips. You make sure, because we as women are bleeding hearts to our children and our grandchildren. We will compromise the quality of our lives, our bank accounts, for the benefit of our children and grandchildren. And that's where it starts. You have to exercise tough love, because, your children have many longer years to work. And when they keep coming back to the deep pockets, to your bank account, and you just can't say no to your son or your daughter, guess what? Raise the alarm. You've got to make sure you think about yourself and your longevity needs.
Yeah, I think about it. When you say yes to them, you're saying no to your own health and well-being. You are listening to Jeanette Bajalia on Unlock Your Wealth Radio. This segment is sponsored in part by KeepMyID.org, the only service that actually prevents identity theft. All others are just monitoring services. Put your credit on lockdown with their special offer for Unlock Your Wealth Radio listeners by visiting our website at unlockyourwealthradio.com/KeepMyID and click on the link to start protecting your financial future right now. So, Jeanette, how do we define a purposeful life? Because I think that we need to understand that first before we go forth and then try to fit all the financial pieces around it. Would you agree, or?
I do agree, because you have to invest. Let's face it. I retired. I'll use myself as an example. I retired at 55, and I'm currently 66, and I'm more passionate about this career that I've been in for 11 years than my primary career, which was retiring 38 years after being an executive in a major corporation. So purpose is the way you define it. I think that's the trouble. Is a lot of us try to think our first acts. You were a mother, you were a wife, you were an employee, you're an executive, you're a business owner. You defined your first act based on needs, what you needed to do to create an income, to create a living. That probably created some health challenges for us as well. It did for me. I'm a 29-year breast cancer survivor from stress. From a purposeful planning a purposeful life, it's you have to invent that second act. To hold on to your money, you need purpose in your life. Because when you're aligned with your purpose and you're doing joyful things, your health completely is different than when you're sitting around just kind of waiting for somebody to pick up the phone and call you and invite you somewhere.
Oh,
you got to
agreed.
have purpose, and purpose is defined differently for different people.
So once we've defined that purpose, understanding a financial game plan that supports our purpose and our drives and desires is essential. Yet, even though we live longer, it seems the irony is that we're underserved in the financial planning market. And why do you think that is?
Well, I'll tell you why it is, because the financial industry speaks the language of a left brain, which is predominantly male. It's a predominantly male-oriented business. I have two successful retirement planning companies, because when I retired, I interviewed 5 financial advisors to be able to get some help. I wanted a retirement plan because I had just spent $250,000 of my personal assets taking care of my mother and my aunt. So I needed recovery strategies. I needed a plan. I didn't need financial products. I needed a plan. I interviewed 5 financial advisors and was demoralized as the way I was treated. And I thank those 5 financial advisors, because I'm helping multitudes of individuals and families through my 2 companies because of how underserved I was as a woman, because they weren't speaking the language. The language of a woman is protecting the journey, protecting the lifestyle. Money is simply a means to achieving my life goals. Mm-hmm. For men, the other gender, it's how much money can I grow? And men tend to want to take more risk. So the financial industry is an industry of risk and reward. For women, we want safety, we want protection, and I want to make sure I'm not a burden on my kids or on anybody else.
Well, you know what the irony is statistically it says that women are better investors than men.
They are, because they don't allow their emotions to get involved, because they do want more balancing. And that's what we're seeing in all the research that's coming out on the baby boomer population. Women. Think about it. Women make over 90% of the household buy decisions. They're the chief CFOs, the chief financial officers of the households as the kids are growing up, and they're managing the financial assets of the household. But women don't get involved in the strategic decisions. So women know the value of money because they've spent it, and they're really good at figuring out how to spend it well. And if we can put that level of depth and breadth of value on investing decisions, that's what makes us better investors. That's my 2 cents, my personal opinion.
So what is the first thing women need to do when it comes to preparing for retirement or Act 2? What's the first thing women need to do?
I call it take a fiscal and physical assessment. You want to sit here and do a current state of the union. Where am I today? How much money do I have? What kind of assets do I have? Where's my health? What's my life plan going to be? You got to just take a whole inventory of physical assets, your personal assets, your wishes, your dreams, your desires, and you got to put them down. And then you have to partner with someone who can help you get to the next level. And let's say, where do I want to be? Can you visualize your future lifestyle in different scenarios? Are you going to live where you're going to live? You're going to move? You're going to stay, you are going to relocate to be near a kid that has state income tax, whereas where I live, we don't have state income tax. So you want to take an assessment of where you are, and then you want to do the gap analysis. And that gap analysis will help you figure out what is the cost of my retirement journey from where I am now till the day I die to satisfy my goals, my dreams, my desires. And then that takes a very discipline. We call it integrated lifestyle protection planning. That's the model that I use. It's like I have to understand where you are today, where you need to be in the future, and there's a whole bunch of stuff in between in between the now and the then, that helps you understand what you got to plan for. And then you build a plan, and then you measure the plan, and you monitor it, and then you replan, because life does throw us curveballs. That's where it starts. It's planning, not investing, but planning.
So once we create the plan, then what do? We implement the plan. Are there particular steps that we should do first? Should we start investing right away? Do we do debt elimination? How do we begin the plan once we've created it?
When we do the plan, you have your gaps that you have identified, because the gaps become tactics and strategies as part of your plan. Excuse me. So I have the plan now. I have the tactics and the strategies, and then I nip them away. What happens far too often is we think the gap between now and where I need to be is so big, we put our heads in the sand, and then we don't do anything about it because it's too overwhelming. But if we can cut it up in bite-sized chunks, and so my first plan is I have a mortgage, and I'm 6 years from retiring. Does it make sense for me to go into retirement with a mortgage? And if it doesn't, then how do we create a plan to pay down that mortgage? And so you start partnering with someone who can help in an objective manner see that you can achieve that end result. But if the gaps are too big, it is overwhelming. So you start with an understanding what needs to be built into the plan, and then carving out the plan into phases. Phase 1 could be the next 2 years, what I need to accomplish. Phase 2 from year 3 to year 10, and phase 4 from year 10 plus.
And now what happens? You mentioned, what if we have a catastrophic event? What if we get sidelined personally, professionally, or health-wise? Then what do we need to do? I call that life suddenlies. That's why I believe in iterative planning. It's not a plan is a living, breathing document. It's not a set it and forget it. It's not like that new rotisserie thing that, you put your chicken in it, you set it, you forget it, and magic, you got a great tasting chicken. Your plan is not like that. Your plan needs to be revalidated on a semi-annual or annual basis, or as frequently as you have what I call those life suddenlies. I recently had a young woman. I did her plan 2 years ago, and she was only 58 when I did her plan. She's now 60 years old, and guess what? We're having to replan. She got a disease from a stem cell replacement. She has this weird disease that's rendering her blind, and she has to move into a nursing home at 60 years old. Ugh.
That's not fun. But we come back to the table and we replan, and we help and navigate her through that. So a lot of people don't think that health is going. A tough health situation could rear its ugly head so quickly. And lucky for her, 2 years ago, we put in some long-term care protection as part of her plan. She didn't have it. Now we can use it.
So that's great. So the strategy keeps moving. So the plan isn't set in stone, that we have to keep making sure that we nurture this plan. It's very much like our 11th key in our Keys to Riches financial philosophy, our 12th key, which is the practice the 3 R's: review, revise, and recommit. And we have to keep going. It's been lovely talking with you, Jeanette. If folks are interested in creating a plan, understanding how to live with purpose, how to get their health wealth connection in place, find your books, where do folks go?
Best place to go, you can go on my Facebook page. It's under Woman's, WOMANS -worth. Also, my website. You can send me an email to info@womans, WOMANS -worth, WORTH.com. And there's all kinds of ways to connect with us through that.
Outstanding. Well, thank you so much for being a part of today's episode. And for those of you who are driving around without a pencil, never fear. UnlockYourWealthRadio.com is here, where you can visit Jeanette's show page, get the links to her Facebook page, website, and so much more. For the maestro of Moolah, Michael Terry, I'm Heather Wagenhals. Now go out and unlock your wealth today.
UnlockYourWealthRadio.com is produced by Heather Wagenhals and the Unlock Your Wealth Foundation. UnlockYourWealthRadio.com and its affiliates are copyrighted 2018 with all rights reserved. For more information on the Keys to Riches Financial Wellness series, please visit our website at www.unlockyourwealth.com.